Hello, and welcome back to my bench. Well, today we've got another piece of radio station equipment. This is an Orban 8100A FM model. It is, or was, probably one of the best processors for radio stations in its day. And its day was early 80s. So this thing is been around for a while, but it still does its job, and they're still used in stations all over the place. I physically have two of them. So anyway, it is a nice unit. It's big, it's heavy, and it is built like a tank. First thing you notice is you got a locked door. Yes, you have a locked door. You take the key and walk away, and that keeps the jocks out, or anybody else that's back there. You don't want people messing with this, because this is what your station sounds like, and you spend a lot of time making it sound that way. Over here we've got 4 vertical meters. These are for your master, for your gain reduction, your limiting, your compression, and your total. This is your total baseband gain reduction. You got a couple of limiters. This is your high frequency limiters for your left and right. This thing will cut down high frequencies by what you want them. This is the gate for your limiter and a power light. And this is a stereo mono switch, so if you want to broadcast in stereo or mono, depending on what you're using it for. Down here we got a big meter, and this meter is multifunction. It gives you your inputs, left and right line inputs, left and right compressor outputs internally from the machine, left and right filtered outputs from the machine, left minus right for over here for separation. 19 kilohertz stereo pilot, 38 kilohertz AGC, and 38 kilohertz PLL, and plus and minus 15 volts, and all that runs on that one meter, which is really nice. You don't have meters all over the place. Behind the locked magic door, we have a bunch of knobs. We got over here, you got your attenuators, your left and right input, input attenuators to match up what you're giving it. I don't know what it'll take. I know testing it tells you to make it line level in plus 10 dB. Up here you've got a switch. You can't really see. It's just if there's a switch for operate and what do they call it? When you go proof. That's it. Operate and proof. You leave it in operate when you want to operate, and you put it in proof when you're doing a station audio proof. So you don't want to put coloring into the audio when you're proving that your station will do what it's supposed to do, and that's what proof is for. They don't do them anymore. In my opinion, they should. Then you've also got your clipping set up here so that you can have more or less clipping. You've got your release time for how fast it releases its compression. You've got your baseband coupling for either independent or wideband. You've got your gate threshold for how much, where you want your gating to cut in for to drop stuff out so that you don't get noise and hiss. You got your HF limiting, high frequency limiting for soft or hard. However much of that you want to do. Up here you've got your pilot for your stereo pilot on and off. You got your pilot injection level, which you turn that up to it varies depending what you're using for a stereo generator. You got your output level for the output of it. These are 15 turn pots here, or 18 turn maybe. You got your left to right gain separation that you to adjust over here, and you got your pilot phase, so that your 19 kilohertz pilot's in phase with your station, so that it doesn't interfere with anything. And that's what you got in the front. Now, inside, if we open this up and not lose the screw, well, almost, it was close. Inside, the door comes down and there's your on-off switch right there. They didn't want people messing with this, really. They didn't. You don't want to turn this off. You just don't. This thing is how you sound, and you want to make sure it stays on. This is your 115 and 220 volts. These empty holes here, those are for a board, for a transformer that was in back of this. Regular old transformer. This particular unit has a toroidal transformer and an updated power supply. Instead of their old style power supply that was in this, it was okay, but not as heavy as it should have been. This one's got the new standard power supply. We'll see when we look inside. And a fuse connector here, and your meters and things are all on this back case. So now we're going to turn this on over here, and I'm going to show you. Turn this, and it's on. Okay, we're going to turn it on. I do have an input going into the left channel, and if you know, there, all right, so power light is on. The you can see the waveform on the meter. Let me turn the pilot off, get rid of that. There's your waveform on the meter with your stereo, in stereo mode. And you can see we're, oh, I don't know, 7 dB of total bass compression. And our limiting is trying to cut in. And I'm feeding it about as much as I can out of my 204B oscillator. So we'll turn this down to mono, and there's our output. Nice, pretty and clean. Okay? Well, our problem here is, we'll leave that running, and I'll switch this to the right channel. That went away, and I'll go into the right channel. We're in. We's got nothing, and the gate light is on constantly. Gate light's on because there's no audio, and it's gating. It's turned it off. So, and you can see there's nothing at all on the scope. Well, let's put this back over again onto the right, the left channel. There you go. And you can see we got audio. Whoops. We got audio, and the gate light is off like it's supposed to be. So that's our problem. No right channel. So let me get the cameras readjusted and positioned, and we'll get into this thing. All right, hello, I'm back. And I got the case top taken off of it so you can see all the goodies inside. This thing's got 7 board, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boards. Another board goes over there. I don't know what that's for. I really don't. And it has, each one of these boards does something different. It's all separated out, so it's not on one big board. Over on this side is the voltage regulator, or the power supply that puts out the raw DC voltage. That would be, if we look over here, let us start this. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that would be over here. That's that part. And at one time, this had another board in it, which was here, that had the LM3, I don't know, 317s and a couple of other stuff. And it had, right on it, the outputs that went to the 3055s, which were mounted on the back of this board. But this board back here has replaced that. If I can show you a little bit better. Yeah, there's the new power supply board right there. And if we look on the back, this thing is heavy. And if we look on the back, you can see where it says Q101, Q102. Those used to be the 3055s, but they're now taken over by the linear power supplies on the regulators on the power supply board here. So that's different. Get some of this stuff out from underneath it. Wow, this thing weighs a ton. Okay, now, like I said, when I turn this thing on, we had output on the right channel. Yeah. Turn the camera on here. Yeah, there. We had output on the right channel and no output on the left channel, or in the left channel, no output on the right channel. And I can, I'll just take it to auto for now. I can take this and I can reduce my input and make my input go up and down. You'll notice it's trying to change for me, but that's what this is supposed to do, is to maintain a level output. If I turn the stereo pilot on, put it back on stereo, turn on the pilot, now we've got the pilot on. There's the stereo composite output, turn on the pilot, and we got a pilot. So all that stuff is working. Our only problem is we don't have any right channel. So, why not? Well, in order to figure that out, we have to keep putting this screw in the front, because this door, there's no way to keep it shut. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn off the power supply, turn this thing on so I don't have to keep opening this door. These were really expensive too, by the way. Alright, so let's turn this thing around here if I can. It's, like I said, quite heavy. I got too much crap. Okay. Let's move that for now. Unplug the power supply for a minute. Take that cord off so I can get the thing turned around. Alright. Okay. So, let's take the other camera here, because this one's mounted, and we'll record back here. Alright, so that's on. In the back, you can see this is your power supply, power input. This is an accessory port. I think it has outputs for telling you if it's gone bad or whatever. This is your composite output. I don't know what this audio test jacks are for. I've never used them. They don't seem to put any audio out or anything. I don't know. This over here is where all your inputs go. You've got your line input for left and right. You've got a gain reduction. I'm not sure what that's for, and a ground. Down here, you've got some other connectors and a 22 volt output. I don't know, and I'm not going to look those up right now. Most of the time you run this thing with it goes in, it goes out. That's about the only thing you do. Anyhow, so there's the back of it. We're going to take the back off. The back comes off easily with the power supply and everything, so that we can check and see where our audio is going. Okay, so let's take the back off. This has all regular old slotted screws. Gotta love that. I was digging around through a bunch of junk in the closet a couple of days ago. I found this thing. 2.4 volts. And I actually found its real charger that goes with it. And what I use this for is flat screws and number ones, so I don't have to change bits in my regular screwdriver all the time. That's kind of nice. Alright. They really wanted to make sure that this thing didn't fall apart, by the way. It has just full of stuff. Alright, let's get this out of the way because we don't need that for anything right now. Alright, so now we can pull this down, and there we have the power supply board. This is the input cage, and back here in the back, that's where all of the connectors are. So if I can get this up so you can see it, yeah, right there is all the connectors. So we'll put this thing on its nose for right now. We'll try to. It does not lend itself well to this. Needs something to block that up with. What have I got? That's too big. Screwdriver handle too big. You. Perfect. Alright, that'll hold it. So let's see. Yeah, we're still recording over there, so we're going to use my little signal tracer here and see what we got. We'll just put a, I don't know, some sort of, yeah, here we go. This thing will work, I guess. And this is my little signal tracer. I built this a long time ago. Runs off batteries or AC. Okay. Is it still working? Well, the light's on. I need some audio. 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 We'll start with the left channel. Alright. And I gotta plug it in, don't I? Yeah. Well, probably not, but we're going to. Alright. Alright, so our audio is in. Our power is on. I have no output. Where's my output? Here it is. Plug him in here. Okay, so we do have output. I don't have the camera on, but it's there. Alright, so let's do a trace here. There's our input. That's our left channel. Don't expect anything on the right channel. I just guessed. But there's our left channel. So now let's switch this over to the other channel. This is my right channel input. I have no output because it says I have no input, so we'll go back here and test. We got, I don't know if you can even hear that, but there's a little bit of something there. We got nothing there, nothing on the left channel, nothing on the right channel. Make sure, just because they're not separated, I think they're common, but I don't know, the grounds. Hey, we got nothing. So we got nothing going into the board. Well, that was the first test anyway. Interesting. Well, you always start at one end, and I started at the end I could get to. Easily, because in order to, you can just, the top folds down. Oh, look at there. Isn't that neat? It's got a, okay, if you can't see that, it's got a extender board built right into it, so I can actually just pull that out and pull the cards out and play with them if I need to. Huh, we might have to, although I don't think so. This is interesting. Alright, so let's take this power off of it for a minute. We got more of these big flat screws. Love it. I hate these things. And I know for a fact that they had invented Phillips by the time this was built. It appears this has been worked on before, at one point or another. Alright. Let's lay it down here again. Lay, I don't know. Chickens lay eggs. Alright. Oof. Alright. There's your... Alright, there's our input. Audio inputs still connected. And that would be... Let's see, the top row over here, so that's plus minus ground, plus minus ground. So we can go from here to here. Help if I turn that on the right way. Okay, here to here. Okay. So there's my input. What color is that? That's gray. I don't know, this always kills me. Gray and green, brown and red. Let's see. I'm going to say that that's gray, and it goes up into this little bundle here. And around. Okay. So, go to ground. And here. Yep. Alright, that goes over to there. And over. Huh? What? Okay, I got audio going into this choke coil, and I got nothing coming out. Or is it so low? Is that thing cutting it down? It couldn't be. That's not the way these things work. Let's put it over on the other side. Go to ground. There's my input. It's blue. Comes up to here. Goes over to here. Comes out of here. And goes over to here. Which goes over to there. So we've got a continuous path all the way through there. So what is going on? Try this again. There, to there, to there, and nothing. Okay. Well, let's see, let's put you on ohms. I don't need 4-wire at this point. Okay, so we're take a look at the meter. Guide we're down, and we've got one end to the other. Hello, I said ohms. Okay. Turn the rate up on this, it's annoying. It says 9 ohms. That's my meter. So one side here, one side there. That's 10 mega ohms. Let's do the same thing for the other channel. 9 ohms. This one is 9 ohms. The choke, 5 ohms. 5, 9, open. Okay. Well, how you get this out? Let's see. Well, 4 screws. Four medium-sized screws. What have I got for a screwdriver I can get these out with? I don't know how I can use this. I don't like to use this, but okay. Well, they're not in there terribly hard. Like I said, I think somebody has been in here before, because on the back of this power supply right here, you've got, this thing says blue and red, and this says blue and red, and these are your voltages. This one's green. No, red. This one's red. It's not right. It's the wrong color. But the voltage is there. That's plus 22 volts. The voltage is there, so that works. So, and there's other little signs, like there's been some resoldering in several places, and of course somebody was in here for sure because they replaced that power supply. But I mean, after that, maybe the old power supply went out and took something and made it go poof. I don't know. All right, so you're that one. Let's pull this out and take a look at it. We're waiting for this thing to heat up. Yeah. Okay, still not hot, but it did good enough, I guess. Alright. Pull you out of there. Move you out of the way a little bit. This thing is so cumbersome. Alright. Back to the meter. We're going to measure this. Yeah, that's me, 4 megs, right straight across it. Well, wait a minute. Get rid of these little guys for now. Hold on. Ooh, interesting. Let's get out the little microscope here. Come here, little microscope. All right. I don't know if I got battery in this thing or not. Yeah, not much. Okay. Alright. We're back. Got the little microscope hooked up, and we're going to take a look at this. I think I see something, but we'll take a look. Put it here. See that? Right there, that little wire. Get a pointy device right there, and it's well, there's the other end of the wire right there. Right there. So, it's broken. Well, we got to try to solder that back together again. That's going to be interesting. I think okay. Get this thing under here so I can see it. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay, that might be a little too close. Yeah, I don't don't necessarily have to be that close to it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, yeah, a little piece of this stuff. And strip me back some. There it is. Alright, now I'm going to have to trim or melt. I guess melt. Put on the old geek glasses here so I can see what I'm doing. Excuse me. You know, that's not coronavirus. It's called grandchild virus. Okay, let's wrap this around here once to give me some sort of a base. Okay, cut you loose. So we're hoping it's not busted someplace else in there. I mean, we're really hoping, because I don't know where I'd get one of these. Probably have to go look up the value of it for sure. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Makes you wonder, how did this happen? It's well, that's soldered on there, I think. Cut this off. Yeah, left-handedly. Okay. Alright. How does that look? Well, looks like it's soldered. Take a look at the ohm meter over here. Make sure it's still good. It is. Alright, and what do we got now? 19 ohms. No, 9 ohms. Alright, that's what we were reading on the rest of them. Okay, so that, we're going to call that fixed. Alright. Get rid of you. Get everything else moved out of the way. Back to where it's supposed to go, or at least close. Take a slug of lukewarm coffee. Okay, not quite lukewarm. But hey, I'm an engineer. I'm used to it. We kind of live on the stuff. Okay. And besides, by the time I get to the coffee, usually at the shop, it's pretty much burnt and disgusting. So, fresh cold coffee is better than burnt disgusting for hot coffee. Alright, so let's straighten this back out a little bit. Alright. Ooh, I gotta put the ferrite beads back on here. There's one. This thing's fairly well beaded up. There's two. And there's three. Bend her back down again. And clean up the ends so I can get them in there. They're kind of hard to pull out. Yeah, this thing was sent in by one of my viewers. And he said the complaint was distorted right audio. Well, I guess it was distorted. It wasn't there at all. Because of an open coil. Lightning, probably lightning. Although, yeah, that's the input. Like I said before, you have these things, this stuff in a radio station sitting around, and you got a big old long wire going from your board into this thing. Basically what you've got up in this attic where all your wires are is an indoor static rod to attract everything it can. Alright, so let's put this back down. I'm gonna be cocky here. Cocky is good, proves you're right. Or you just got, I have tremendous faith in myself. Yeah, right, sure. Alright. Although that was pretty for sure problem. And since we had nothing on this end over here, that pretty much speaks for itself. We had in here. Okay, where'd you go? Did I just throw that screw across the room? Yeah. We had it coming in here and going to here and nothing there. And this was slap open, so it just doesn't get any more sure than that. I hate slotted screws. You know, I have, wait, I have a toy. Will this toy even work for this? Where is it? What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. I don't know if I've got a bit small enough for this. Let's see. One of these things. Oops. Supposedly, you put the thing on there, you slide that over the end, it holds it-ish, and you can screw it in with a screwdriver. Yeah, I don't know. Is that any easier? Let's try it with the screwdriver here. Blingy blink. Something just unplugged itself. What? Oh. My USB, because I tapped that thing. Tapped, that's all I did. Alright, where are you, little screw? Alright, so we're going to put this on here. Slide this over the end. Get it sort of started. No. It's, for this kind of screw, it's no easier. The old wedge it in with your thumb trick seems to work better than that. Although, alright. So, You can make up your mind. I don't think they work very well. But that's just me. Of course, I only gave it one shot. That's not much. Quit that. Thank you. Alright. Now, put this back on here. Should we do that? Yeah, why not? Let's just go for it. Just pretend like I'm absolutely positive it's going to work. Well, I know that's going to work. That's a given. I know that this is not correct way to do this, and about 99.9% of the time you'd be sorry, but stick in the hole, find the hole. Problem is I can't line it up here exactly. Okay, there. I'll probably fast forward through this in the movie and the video anyway. If that fixes this thing, I hope so. That would be cool. Make sure there isn't anything else wrong with it. The other complaint they had, though, was that the gate light was on all the time. Well, that might be true. If there's no audio going into it because it's not getting there, then that's not the right truth. Where'd you come from? Then that would be true. The gate light would be on. It's always going to be on if the audio is not there. That's the way this thing is made. There is no actual gate off position. I think it goes down to 40 dB maybe. Okay. Alright, so let us put some power to it. Turn you off for now, you never know. Give it some audio. Right channel input. I see where this one goes. I was right, it wasn't the same animal. That one on that tie strip back there. Okay. Plus. Minus. Little box. Okay, you're back on. Audio's on. Power is. I'm not sure that would make any difference, actually, to tell you the truth. Now, where did the output cable go? I can tell you it's working. Okay. Yep. Alright, so let's hook it up to ground. And here. Yep. There we go. That's our left channel, or right channel coming in. Beautiful. Gracious. How? It has to be. It just has to be. Alright, tell you what, let me get this thing kind of slapped back together and I'll be back. Okay, just a little side note here. I took this power supply, this updated power supply off of it just to see if the caps had been changed, and they have. The caps were changed. Look at this. Somebody really believes in using a lot of thermal paste. Well, okay, I guess. But wow, that's a fair amount of thermal paste right there. And you know what? I'm just going to close the holes up and leave it. What it does, the way they got it set up here, is it's kind of turned to goo, but cool. What it does is it buries these little fins from this this little heat. Yeah, what do you call those things anyway? I hate it when words just go away. Little radiator fins on these things. It buries them in there because they don't actually touch. Okay. Well, I think maybe we'll run this thing for a few hours and get some audio into it and see if it is hot. Yeah, this thing is pretty new. What's a date code? You got a date code on anything on here? Someday I'm going to buy a flashlight that works. There we go. That's an LM317. Yeah, 96. I think. Yeah, 337 is 96. So I think that's a while, but those capacitors have been changed on here already. I can tell by the way that they're soldered in and the way they're clipped off. So, all right. Mash that back down into its thing. Alright. Interesting. Alright, I'm going to put it back together. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back. And got it all put back together again. These guys, I haven't had it on but about a minute and they're not even warm. All these caps have been replaced in here. I'm going to go through these boards one at a time and check them out, but I pretty much can guarantee you that there's not that many caps on there, but I'll check those out, and you've seen people replace caps. So let's start up this guy. We're recording. We have a left input. We're on mono. You notice there's nothing on the screen. We're on right input. Keep saying that. We're on the right input. We're on mono. There's nothing on the screen. If I turn on the stereo, it'll go to stereo and then the actual generator will kick in. And if I turn on the 19 kilohertz, there it is. There, right there is your 19 kilohertz. Turn that off so you can see it. Now if I vary my frequency, there is my frequency change. There's a 1 kilohertz, okay. So that's good. The reason when I turn that off is mono is from left channel only. But all of my meters, come here, all of my meters are working correctly. I'm feeding it a reasonable input. Here I can change it. See, there's my input from right channel. Plus 10 dB. Power's off. Gate is off. Now if I turn the gate up, I don't even think I can get it far enough. Let's turn this down. Can I get the gate to go far enough? Well, that's base coupling, stupid. Here's gate. Oh, there's a gate light. Right there. And yeah. Right there. So the gate light, see, gate light is working. Can I get it off to the side? Yeah. Wow. Yep, gate light's working. My inputs are working. I don't have any limiting. Where's my limiter? High frequency limiting. Can I get that to turn on? I don't know. We got to go up a little bit frequency wise. Let's go up to about 5 kilohertz. See if I can get... No. I'm going to have to take this thing up about 10. Try 10 kilohertz, see if I can get it to work. No. Okay. Let's try 16. Well, that's interesting. I may not know what I'm doing here either. Baseband coupling. Limit off. I'm going to have to play around with that and see what I can get it to do, but right now it's not, I'm not getting any high frequency limit. I don't know where that's supposed to cut in. I'm going to have to look at it. The stereo light is not lit either, so I'm going to have to check into that. Well, I wonder if that only works if the stereo light only works on... I wouldn't think so. There's the left input. No, stereo light's not working. Now when I go to mono, if you look at it, let's take this back down so it's about correct. Alright, there we go. Take it to mono. That's when you left input and you got mono, looks good. 10 dB in, and power light is on. Go back to stereo. No, stereo light's not working. I'm gonna have to... 19 kilohertz is working, 38's working, 38 PLL is working, plus or minus 15, so everything appears to be right, except I got no light. Alright, well, we'll look into that. Right now I'm going to take a break and go get some dinner. I'll be back. Okay, I've done a lot of messing around with this thing and come to find out what all the problems were. As far as the stereo light in the front here goes, that was just a bad LED. I replaced that, but I still couldn't get the thing to work. There are on the back here, there are a couple of output jacks, audio test jacks, that connect the output to the output of boards 8 and 9 over here, and give you something to test for audio out when you're doing alignment on this thing. None of that worked, and I was trying to figure out why. Well, I'll turn on this camera here and I'll show you. Okay, we're recording. Alright, this connector right back here is for another board that goes into this unit that's called a zero card. The zero card expands the capabilities of boards 8 and 9 over here with a different kind of diode setup for clamping and that kind of stuff. And basically you put that board in there and you can adjust it and stuff, but you got to do some wiring. Now, the wiring basically would come from this switch right down here, which is this the switches in and out these connectors, and would run through that board and then back over to the inputs of boards 8 and 9 over here on this side. Well, somebody had done the part of the update for this of connecting this switch down here, the outputs of this, or the connectors in this switch, to the card 0, but they had not finished with the wiring of it. They did the wiring over here to card 3, which is your power and stuff, and they ran the card over to, where is it, over here to card 6. Yeah, card 6. They did that part of the wiring, but they did not run the output of card 0 back over to the inputs of card 8 and 9. They did the jumpers. If you can see down here, there's little jumpers here which bypass card 0, so that if you pull card 0 out, you can use these to bypass it. But they had never put these wires on to bypass to anything. So I wasn't getting anything out of these jacks back here in the back. So I couldn't do any kind of setups or alignments. Well, I finally figured that out and hooked it back up and got that working, and everything's doing pretty good. We'll stop this. And I'll show you on the schematic, or on the little let's put a screw back in the back of this thing so I can turn it around. We'll hook it back up, and I'll show you the output of this, if I can get the screw in. There we go. And put one more over here because this is a big board and I don't want it to bend on me. Alright, so we'll turn this around. This thing is seriously heavy. Alright, so I've just got this hooked. I've got this thing hooked up to my computer. Put that in there. Output of this guy will take to, we're going to use the left channel here, and hopefully if I can get the stick, get in there. Alright, and power. Ugh. Okay, and don't need you. I really don't need that for anything. Okay. So, let's turn this guy on. I'm just going to hook up my scope over here so I can see what I'm doing. Left. It's right there. Okay. So at this point, I've got 1,000 hertz going into. Whoops. Alright, so let's start up. There, okay. So this is running. Let's stop this. Make sure that's there. Everybody's on. I should have audio. I do. Okay. And normal. I have no input. Why do I not have any input? Amplitude. Output. Input. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Did I come and walk down here? Nope. Huh. Oh, wait. Gotta start this. figure out which plug I'm in. Alright, there we go. Now you can see over here on the little spectrum analyzer, if I change frequencies, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Make this look a little more like a spectrum analyzer. Alright, so here's my 1 kilohertz here, and 2 kilohertz, 3, 4, 5, all my little multiples, and there's my point. Let's see if I put it on log. There we are. We're running out. So frequency's working. The gate is working too, but it's doing that because of the generator. Anyway, and if you can, so everything works. It works like it's supposed to. Yay. I'm happy. But that was fun, trying to figure out what somebody didn't do. I did take out these boards and I checked the capacitors on them, and I'm amazed. They're all really good caps. There's a couple that I'm going to change. There's 4 of them on this board, and there's 2 of them on this board. Over here on these 2 boards I want to change, but the rest of them, there's not very many on them, and they look brand new anyway. I don't know what the story was behind this thing. It just, somebody had messed with it, or something. Somebody tried to do an update to it to put the 0 card in it, and didn't finish it. Why that coil, that choke coil in the back was open, I have no idea how that could have happened. I did check all the boards. Now these boards, there were a lot of third parties making boards for these, just like the third party power supply back here, but these are all real boards. They're not third party boards. These are all real boards in here, and they're all real, so it's not like somebody's changed them. So I don't know what the story is behind this. Something has happened. Somebody's been in it. Somebody's done something besides the power supply. That was done by the guy that made the power supply, I think. At least that's what I was told. We used to be Orban.FM, or no, Optimod.FM, but that's gone now, so he's not I guess not around anymore. But I don't know. It's interesting to me that they got halfway through an update and then quit. And who knows? Things happen out there in the world. But anyway, there it is. It's up. It's running. Major problems. That coil back there off the input for the right channel. The stereo light, no light, but that was just a bad. And unfinished wiring for an add-on board, and they didn't put the rails in for the add-on board either, so it would just be flopping around in the breeze if it was back there. So anyhow, hey, thanks for watching, and you know, if you got any comments, leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to see more of these things when I do them.